What's in my camera bag 2025 real estate edition? Hey guys, and how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Films by Jeremy. And if you've been on my channel for a little bit, if you've been following me for a little bit, perhaps you heard me mention shooting real estate photography and videography content. And I've been doing this for around 2 years now. I want to say around 2.5 years. Time just makes no sense, and I have no idea when I started. It's crazy to think I started videography in the early stages of COVID, and now I'm just doing it full time. I just don't know when it started or what periods of my life. But anyway, I think I've been doing real estate content for around 2 years now. And my journey with real estate photography and videography content is that I got an inquiry just asking if I did it. And, you know, I had the Lumix S5 Mark I and the 18mm f1.8 lens, and I was just like, yeah, you know, it's a wide angle lens, might as well just give this a shot. And sure enough, it went pretty well, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And now it's kind of been my full-time gig. I thought maybe I'd go over the gear I'm currently using in order to create real estate photography and videography content for my clients. And I will say too, in like a more professional light, that, you know, you make 1 or 2 clients happy, word gets around. And that's the biggest part about our gig, is that it's all word of mouth. You service one client and you create amazing content for them that they love, and then other people see it, and then those people ask your client, and then you get that work, and it just snowballs. At the end of the day, it's not the gear, it's the way you use it. And if you have a passion for this medium, for videography and photography, then you will succeed. So let's dig in. The first thing I'm going to talk about right now is the drone that I use. And again, if you've seen more of my content, perhaps you've heard me talk a little bit about the DJI Mavic Mini 3. I really love this little drone. Before the Mini 3, I had the Mini 2, and I really didn't like that drone. I think mainly because it didn't shoot in any sort of log profile, and it was really hard to color grade and make it look nice. There were moments where it looked really nice, and, you know, I'm sure if I were to tackle that footage nowadays, I could make it look a little nicer with what I know, but the Mavic Mini 3 is such a great drone that's future-proofed me. I know that there's the 4, and I don't even know. I'm fallen so far behind with drone products that maybe there's a 5 now, or a 5 has been announced or something like that. No idea, but I really like my Mini 3. So if you're looking for a drone, for sure, the minis are really great. If you're doing, again, like this social media-esque kind of content, like if you're making movies or something like that, perhaps go with something a bit more high-end. What really sold me about this drone, it wasn't just D-Log light and like the many safety features of the drone, but it was this controller, their RC controller with a built-in screen. I really hate using my phone for things. I almost refuse to download apps, and I don't know what part of my brain gets frustrated with the amount of apps every product seems to have. And I prefer to use my fingers to flick a switch and then turn a knob in order to turn on a light. Or having a dedicated remote control for certain brands. Godox is pretty good with that. Having a dedicated screen that is running Android, it just so much better. So much better. Battery life on the drone isn't anything to write home about. You know, if you own a drone, you know the battery lives on these things don't last very long. And so I think you get around like 15 minutes of like record time per battery. Again, use it wisely. Charge your batteries before a shoot. If you know you're gonna be using your drone for a prolonged period of time, just prepare yourself for that and get the package with the 3 batteries. Next, before we crack into the bag of goodies, is the Zhiyun Cinepure Weebill 3E. I was so unsure about this gimbal when they sent it to me. I'm not a huge gimbal head. I'm not in the gimbal forums, but I really do love this gimbal. I've been using it for all of my real estate content. And last year, the last 2 weddings that I shot, I used the gimbal for those as well. The only caveat being is that I don't recommend you put heavy lenses. Like the 24-70 by Sigma is a pretty heavy lens, and I have used it on this gimbal before, and there is some micro jitters that I knew was going to happen, so I braced myself for that, and I just added some stabilization in post. Use lighter lenses with this gimbal, and I really love also too, I've been doing a lot of Instagram reels for my clients. It's so easy to just flip over, turn it into a vertical gimbal rig and having that full quality rather than shooting like something like open gate like I am right now, and then reformatting that but losing a lot of verticality. I just shoot vertically and I just go through the house super quick one more time with the agent, and we make a super cool engaging video that gets more eyes than you would get if you were just shooting horizontally and cropping it in post. I don't know where to put any of this stuff. It's gonna crowd my desk. Now let's crack in to the camera bag. Again, the camera bag that I use is the Low Pro Flipside BP 400 AW3. Again, such a mouthful, and it's so nice that it's written on the back of the bag here because I I couldn't tell you what this thing was called. Well, let's get right to the meat and potatoes of this rig, and that is the camera that I use for my real estate content, and that is the Lumix S9. I've made a few videos about the S9, and I'm sure I'll make even more because a lot of you like to know about this camera, and I use it for my real estate photography and videography content. One thing I just recently bought, and I haven't used it yet in a professional setting, was this small rig Arca Swiss plate that you can screw onto the bottom of your gimbal base plate. This is the small rig Arca Swiss, and this is the Zhiyun base plate, and you screw in the Arca Swiss to the base plate and then slide it on to your camera if your camera has an Arca Swiss plate, and it just makes it so easy to just take the camera off the plate and use it for other things and then slide it back on again. But yeah, I use the Lumix S9 for all my shoots, and as I'm talking you'll be seeing like the photos and videos that I shoot with this thing, and it's all very good. The quality is the same as the Mark IIX. No real caveats here other than I still wish there was a dual SD card slot, as that still makes me a little nervous. This camera is incredibly lightweight, and if you're shooting primarily on gimbal, you know that back pain. You know that back pain so well. And I'm 30, well, almost 30. The next few months, I'll be 30 years old, and I have to give my back more grace than I used to. And now the lens is the Sigma 10-18 APS-C lens. I made a video about this lens pretty recently, so check that out if you haven't already. It's an APS-C lens that it has an APS-C crop pre-applied to it, so I'm able to shoot in 60 frames a second, 4K. I use the Freewell variable ND filters for my filtering system. For audio, I use the DJI wireless mic system. This is the Mark I version, so no 32-bit float. I have my settings dialed in, and the quality is pretty good. I'm sure with 32-bit float, it could be better. I have no complaints, so here's a clip with some audio.
Today we're in the lovely village of Finch, and I'm excited to showcase this move-in ready 3-bedroom home that's sitting on a large lot, has no direct rear neighbors, and is connected to municipal services.
Sounds good on computer speakers, it sounds good on your phone. That's all that matters. You're not playing it in a Dolby audio system or anything. So that's my whole camera system. Again, very lightweight. So here's a few little bits and bytes that I use. So this is for my sensor. I'm too scared to properly clean my sensors, so I just use my lens duster here, and it gets rid of some speckles if there's dust that gets on the sensor or on the lens. It's just a nice little tool to have. What I love about this camera bag is that it comes with this pouch that I put a bunch of my smaller items in. Opening it up, we have Pelican SD card case. I always carry extra SD cards with me, even though I just typically use one. But it's good to have extras, and it keeps my brain happy when I'm driving to a gig and I see the Pelican case full of cards. Not worried about that. The Small Rig Film Riot multi-tool set. Love this thing. I use it very consistently. Extra batteries. I always keep 2 extra batteries in my case just in case I need more batteries. And typically on a real estate shoot, I go through 1 battery per house. So if I'm doing 2 or 3 houses, I'll bring 2 or 3 batteries. This is a lens pen. The brand for this one is just lenspen.com. But yeah, this is great for taking off like smudges and stuff from your lens, and it does an incredibly great job. For example, my lens right now is pretty dang dirty. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there's some speckles and stuff on it. And the lens pen it's great to remove these speckles. And then there's a little brush that pops out of here too. If you don't have a lens pen, honestly pick one up. I find it does such a great job removing smudges and dust, much better than like a cloth would. And what else do we have here? Chapstick. This is actually chapstick. Sometimes my lips get chapped on a gig. Chapstick. Yes, I do have a lens cloth as well. And the DJI microphone itself with this Rode clip-on lav mic, because I really don't love, and I used to shoot videos where I had this mic clipped onto my shirt. And it's great sometimes if you're outside shooting content, you don't want to bring a whole mic system with you. The lav is just a little more subtle and you don't quite see it in the shots. And yeah, I believe that is everything in my 2025 what's in my camera bag real estate kit. Perhaps it'll change, and if anything does change. Oh shoot, one last thing. Oh my god, that was close. Don't click off just yet. Oh my god, I have a whole other lens, guys. A whole other lens. This is the Lumix 35mm f1.8. This is for the talking headshots of the agent, kind of just going over the house super quickly for the beginning, middle, and end. And I find 35mm is just a great focal range for that. Not too tight. You still see the house in the background or a room, but it still is a solid compression to add a little bit more of that background separation. Can't believe I almost forgot a lens. And I have the Freewell 6:9 filter on here as well. Okay, I think for real this time, that's it. Let me know if you want to see more videos on real estate content creation, maybe a crash course on how to, get clients for that kind of thing. That's enough of me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. I try to get to all the comments. It has been an incredibly busy start of the year, so it's hard to always be at my computer or phone answering questions or responding to criticism. But I do appreciate every bit of criticism as long as it's constructive. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.